you're at the darkest point of your life and you're ready to give up. You're at a point in your life when you feel like it's do or die. You're going through so much pain. You're going through so much agony. You're ready to give up. You're ready to quit. I got one word for you, warrior. Woo! Warrior. Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. I want your dream to be so clear that when you wake up in the morning, all you gotta do is step in your dream. And the first step for me was seeing something I was not before I was. You can do it. Where you are is temporary. You will not be there for the rest of your life. I don't care what happens in your life. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care where you are. Every single day you wake up, if you're gonna have energy, if you're gonna have passion, if you're gonna have drive, every day you wake up, you gotta start with that vision. Just as a mentality, like you gotta live this, you gotta eat this, every single thing you do is not a cute saying. It is a way of life. It's got to possess everything you do. It's got to own you.
There's no reason to have a plan B because of distraction of plan A.
I want to see how far I can go. I want to see what I can accomplish. I want to see what I can do, what I can be, what I can have. I want to see. I don't want to see what I think I can do. I don't want to see what I think is possible.
Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome to Super Elite Entertainment. You already know it's your boy Jason Rodriguez, and I am here live in the studio with a really good friend of mine for an exclusive interview with the one they call the Beast, currently 7-0, undefeated, from Danbury, Connecticut, boxing out of Champs Boxing Club in Danbury, Connecticut. My boy, my brother, my friend, Mr. Omar Bordoy Jr.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up,
Jason?
Omar?
I'm glad to be here.
All right.
What's up, everybody? I'm just looking forward to this, and I'm thankful to be here. And you know, the setup that Jason has going on here is it's amazing. You know, so I commend him for that.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, brother. You know, it is an exciting time, man, because you know, you are the 5th guest for our 5th week since we debuted our show a couple of weeks ago, man. So yeah. I'm honored to have you here in the studio, brother. Yeah,
I appreciate it. Again, thank you for the invite.
You know, especially knowing that just yesterday it was announced that you're going to be stepping back into the ring April 12th.
Yes, sir.
In the Hamptons.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
Oh, I'm excited. You know, I haven't fought since November 30th. You know, I'm just looking to get back in there, get back to what I do best, which is winning, of course. You know, as you can see, my record's 7-0. I'm just excited to be back in the ring and ready to get another win, 8-0.
So listen, you made your pro debut in 2017.
Yeah.
And that's not that long ago, man.
Yeah.
So in a short period of time since 2017, you have captured 7 consecutive victories, 2 knockouts. Now, I mean, how does that feel, being able to be, to be 7-0 within such a short period of time?
You know, it's an amazing feeling. You know, I'm blessed to be where I am. I have a great team behind me, and I wouldn't be where I am without them. You know, especially with the whole Champs crew, my trainers Benny, Dave, AJ Galante, especially, you know, always providing me with the right path. You know, so to be able to be 7-0, soon to be 8-0, is you know, a blessing for me.
So, April 12th, you step back into the ring, and you're going up against an opponent. I don't know much about your opponent. Yeah. I didn't have enough time to research him. What's his name?
Tommy Bryant.
Tommy Bryant. I mean, Tommy Bryant is 30 years old. That I do know. So he's a grown man.
Yeah.
And you know, you're gonna be fighting in the Hamptons against this dude. How excited are you?
Well, I'm extremely excited. You know, it's gonna be a good fight. He's a rugged southpaw. I never fought a southpaw, so that's an experience in its own. Like I said, he's a come forward, rugged dude. You know, he's probably gonna be a nice little war, and so you know, I think it's gonna be a tough fight for the beginning rounds. You know, and I think I'll take over.
Yeah. Now, I watched you come up in the ranks. You started as an amateur, of course. And in the amateurs, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
And every time you stepped into the ring when you were in the amateurs, I know why they called you a beast, because that's the way you operate in the ring, man.
Yeah.
You know, so with the experience you went through as an amateur, coming up in the ranks of the amateurs, win some, lose some, how did that prepare you to step into the ranks of the pros?
Well, being a pro is a whole different ball game. You know, from the glove size to the way everything feels, the atmosphere, it's a whole different ball game. So, you know, after my pro debut, it kind of opened my eyes, and you know, the amateurs helped a lot. It had got my feet wet, knowing what it's like to fight in front of people, a crowd, and you know, being in there with somebody that's trying to kill you. You know, that's what it did help me with. But I do believe I always had a pro style, and I always said that I was going to be a better pro than amateur. You know, I had roughly around 40 amateur fights, and you know, but I started fighting when I was 17. I'm 24 now.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
happy birthday, happy belated birthday, man. Because I know that was your birthday. What, last week?
Yeah, last Tuesday.
24, you're getting old.
Yeah, I know. That's why I gotta keep busy.
I see the white hairs coming out of your head, man.
Nah, don't try to play me, man. I ain't got no white hair going on. I don't stress that much. Nah, but you know, it's just the amateurs was great. I had a lot of fun in there. Near the end, especially because you know I started training at Champs, had a lot more opportunities to go to tournaments. I actually got to see what amateur boxing was. You know, 2016 was my breakout year in the amateurs. I had most of my fights. I had about 15 fights that year, and that was the most I ever had. In any, you know, as an amateur. So, you know, like I was on and off in the beginning. You know, from 2013 to like 2016. You know, I had 3 years about in the amateurs.
So when at one point did you realize, man, you know what? I have what it takes to be a pro. And when you did realize that you had what it took to be a pro, was it something that you sat back and thought about for a while? Who did you consult and who did you speak to in order to take the necessary steps to get to the point where you are now, where you're 7-0 and you're about to go for that 8th consecutive victory?
Okay. Yeah, me and AJ, I had a really good relationship with AJ Galante before, you know, because I met him through Delvin when he was managing Delvin's career at the time. You know, and so I came down to talk to him. It was way before I was even ready, to be honest. You know, I was thinking about it at the time. He had told me to have a couple more amateur fights, come down to his gym, you know, kind of like gauge where I'm at. So I did that, and from 2015 to 2016, I just stayed busy. And I didn't say I was ready. At that point, I kind of was like, all right, this is cool. I like being in the amateurs. Now that I'm actually got the right direction, you know. But then, you know, everybody else was telling me, yo, you're getting a little older, you know, and you can't have 100 fights like these other guys are having, 200 fights. You know, it would be good, but you can't do that. You know, I have a kid, I have a child, you know, so I had to find, I had to provide, you know, so. Ultimately, it was everybody around me. It wasn't myself that told you know, I always felt that I was going to be a good pro, so I never doubted myself. But ultimately, it was everybody else who told me, Omar, you're ready. You know, so I kind of let them speak for me, kind of like how I do now. You know, I don't like to talk myself up. I let people do that for me. You know, if I'm doing something well, then I let people talk for me. You know, like I don't really like to boast about myself.
You know, I look at you. You're 24 years old, and you're a great role model for up-and-coming fighters, and for young people your age. You could have been doing something else with your life right now. You could have been in the streets. Let's keep it real. You could have been caught up in the nonsense that's going on out there. You could be locked up in a prison cell. Having a lot of negative things going on in your life. But you've been sticking to the course. You've been staying focused. And is that because you foresee yourself becoming a world champion?
When I was in that, from the beginning, everybody thought I was a good fighter. You know, when I first started, people were like, "You have a natural talent." I always loved fighting. Like you said, I was in the streets, and I was doing a lot of, like, excuse my friend, a lot of bullshit. You know, that's what I like to call it. I tell people all the time, I'm like, the streets only get you two places: dead or in jail. You know, so there's no point in that. That's why I call it bullshit. There's no other way to call it. But you know, I always loved fighting. I was always fighting in the streets. You know, so. Even when I first started boxing, I kind of took that. I was like, let me use it and see how it works, you know. So
how long you been fighting boxing?
I started when I was 13.
13. And
then I started competitively fighting at 17. So
how were you introduced to the sport?
I went down to the gym. One time we had this old Harambe center. Shout out to Bill. Bill Curtis, he used to run the Harambe Center for like youth kids. It was a basketball court, had all types of things, and in the little garage, it had a boxing gym.
Where was that located?
West Street in Danbury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or White Street, one or the other. But I went down there, and my cousin Edgardo was actually training down there. I was introduced to boxing when I was a kid by my dad.
Yep.
You know, he first trained me, but it wasn't nothing serious, you know. I didn't know what it was. You know, I just kind of saw Mike Tyson, Ali, and I was kind of, but I went down and I was messing around with my friends in that gym at the center. And at the time, my cousin Edgardo was the man, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was an amateur fighter from Danbury. And yeah, he beat the brakes off me from one ring post to the next ring post, you know? He beat the brakes off me. I was only like, I was 13. I was like, I don't like this feeling, you know? I don't want to be losing like this, you know?
So getting beat is where your motivation came from?
Yeah, I was like, I got to get better. You know, at the time, it was to whoop his ass. I was like, I got to fight. I got to beat him, you know? Which gave me the fuel. He taught me a lot of things, the betterment of the basics, you know, the fundamentals. And, you know, I just kind of kept going. I loved it. You know, I liked, it sounds weird. I liked getting punched. Now, I don't like it anymore, you know, don't get me wrong. The defense is key now, but, you know, I like the feeling of being in there. You know, it just felt natural, felt good. You know, I used to play football, so I gave that up for this, you know, and I'm thankful.
I mean, getting punched, you mentioned.
Yeah.
I've seen you get hit. You have a good chin. And you've been in some brawls.
Yeah.
I've seen you engage in some serious brawls, man. And honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. There was a couple of fights that that was on edge, like all right, he need to pick up the pace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He need to, you know, bob and weave a little.
Yeah.
He need to pick up his defense a little bit. But, you know, first round, second round, it's questionable. Like, but you always like turn it on towards the later rounds. Is that the kind of fighter you are?
Yeah, I think I adjust very well. You know, it takes me roughly around 2 rounds to figure out everything you're doing, unless you adjust yourself, and then I got to figure you out again, you know. But I do take pride in that in myself. I know how to adjust, and I know how to win, you know. So, you know, like it's naming my last fight. You know, I fought an undefeated opponent in his hometown. You know, it was an extremely tough fight, and I came out on top. And it's like I said, I adjusted the first 4 rounds. It was easy work, and then he switched it up on me in the 5th round, which I gave him completely. Was the 5th round was his. Yep. You know, he caught me with some pretty good shots. Nothing hurt me. He didn't have the power to hurt me, but he had good. He hit me with some good shots. So, you know, but then the 6th round came and I adjusted again, and he couldn't really do what he was doing in the 5th round. So that's something I do take pride in, is my ability to adjust.
Let's talk about that crazy fight you had at the Xfinity Center.
Yeah.
Against Alexander Keto?
Yeah.
All right. I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
And if I butchered it, I'm sorry, Alexander. But that was the 6th rounder.
Yeah.
And you were the co-main event of the night at the Xfinity Center. Papa de Celeban Rivera's card. And the 6th round, with 1 second left in the 6th round, you closed out the show with a vicious overhand right.
Yeah.
Knocked him out. Dude was down, done. How did that feel? Because the arena exploded that night. I mean, how did that feel? I mean, it was an amazing feeling, you know. Of course, as a fighter, we wanna win by knockout. It's not something we always look for. Everybody always says, I'm gonna knock this dude out, but you know, it's not something some fighters look for, and then you get hurt for it. But honestly, like, in that round, I kind of was like, all right, I know I'm winning the entire fight. He can't hurt me. I was just like, I'm gonna go for everything, you know. So I started throwing all my hard shots. Yep. The whole time, every time I went back to the corner, my turn was real sluggish in the last couple of rounds. You know, his footwork was getting sloppy. His punches weren't coming out with any steam on them. So I was like, it's gonna be easy for me to just step to the side and catch him with his right hand eventually. You know, I threw it a few times in that round and I missed. And like I said, I feel like in that last second when he heard the clicking, he kind of was like, nothing's gonna happen. So he left himself more recklessly open. Yeah. So I didn't even throw the shot hard. He kind of gave it to me. You know. Now, and nothing against Pakai. He was a tough opponent. You know, I wish him the best in his career if he continues, and you know, I hope he recovered well from that. Yeah. But like I said, he just gave it to me. You know, he kind of left himself open for it and came right into it. Kind of like I just threw it.
you know, because I knew it was the last seconds of the round, so I was like, let me just throw the last shot and see what, you know, and end up taking him out. So, you know, it was crazy for me. So it was surreal. Yeah, because I couldn't believe it. Let alone I'm telling everybody, I was like, how'd you do that? I'm like, it wasn't scripted. I'm like, dude, I don't even know.
I couldn't believe either, and I was standing on the ring when it happened.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, holy.
Yeah. So, how important is it to have the right team on your side? Because I know you train with Benny Little. I've seen you with 2 different trainers. You know, you have AJ Galante, the whole entire Champs Boxing Club gym out of Danbury, Connecticut. I mean, how important is it to have the right team backing up your career and what it is that you're trying to do?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, I had Louis Marichal training me for a while. The last couple years I was an amateur, and you know, he started me out as a pro. But see, Benny and I were a team from the beginning. You know, I met Benny probably like 10 years ago. You know, and we were a team for a long time. It's just Benny had a lot going on in his life at the time that I needed to finish out my amateur career. So I told him, listen, you focus on what you need to focus on, and I'll do what I have to do. Don't worry, you know, when you're all settled, you're always welcome. You know, so obviously, you know, Louis was a fantastic trainer too, but he moved to Brooklyn because he had a better job opportunity out there. You know, I loved Louis as well. And he, you know, it was just a little, it wasn't, when I added Benny to the team again, it kind of like wasn't like clicking, you know what I mean? So, you know, there was one camp I had completely with Benny. It was entirely with Benny. And I think it was in Worcester. I fought the Palladium. I fought this kid, Seth Bastard. You were there as well.
Yep.
And, you know, they weren't seeing eye to eye at the time because he wanted to be inside the ring. And I was like, Benny trained me for this fight, so he, you know, deserves to be in there. You know, whatever. And he got upset, and he kind of was just like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this. Because he had a lot going on in his life at the time, you know, which I understand. So I just told him, you know, it's okay. You know, I still talk to him. You know, we're good friends still. So it's always good. It's always good to have that. But having the, you know, everybody at Chance Boxing, they love me. You know, I have never had a problem or issue with anybody at the gym. A lot of the kids that come in, they look up to me. They ask me all these questions. I give tips. We got Fernelli Feliz. You know,
the Feliz brothers.
Yeah, the Feliz brothers. They, you know, I grew up with them, so it's great to see us all doing great things together. You know, coming up as an amateur, I'm a pro. Eventually, they're gonna be doing the same things, and you know, whether or not I'm coming in there, I'm going like I'm exiting my career. When they're coming to become pros, or right in the middle, whatever it is, you know, we're doing it together. That's what I like to say. Anybody from the gym that's doing something, we're doing it together. You know, I don't want to say we're one unit. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to say I'm one unit. We're a team overall. You know, so I support everybody in the gym.
Your last fight, a lot of people, if they look on box record under Omar Bordoy Jr., it says that you have been suspended.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of people who reached out to me asking me, because they knew you were coming on the show for an interview. They were asking me, listen, is he suspended? So I just wanted you to clarify as to why it says that you were suspended on box record. I
had a cut over my eye from a headbutt in my last fight. Again, you know, when I fought Pacat, that same spot in my eyebrow, headbutt as well. And it happened again in the same area in the 3rd round of my last fight. So I'm suspended from the New York State Commission because of that. You know, just to be safe.
Yep.
You know.
Okay. Now, my next question for you is, how do you balance life, family, boxing, and basically just your overall relationships? I mean, how do you keep a balance of everything going on in your life?
I'm not gonna lie. Any young fighter out there that's trying to do that and trying to find your way, it's extremely hard. That boxing is sacrifice. Any fighter, you hear any world champion, any champion, or just fighter in general, they always say, in order to be good, you have to sacrifice. That's one of the things we have to sacrifice is time. You know, so you make what I can say is you make time for the things that are important.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if you know if you want to talk to your family, you'll find time. Anybody can. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm exhausted most of the time. I work a full-time job. You know, I get up in the mornings, go running, get out of work to go to the gym. And on top of that, I do go to college, you know, so I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not, you know, saying that would be a lie, but there is a way you can balance it. You just got to find it. You know what I mean? You know, it's mad weird that I say this, but you ever watch The Karate Kid?
Absolutely. Which one though? There's like 4 of them.
I think it was the first one he said this. I think it was the first one. Mr. Miyagi told Daniel, he said you got to find the balance in order to be focused on everything, you know? So that like kind of like stuck with me all through my life, because every time the balance was tipped anywhere, whether it was bad or good things, I couldn't focus on the things that mattered, you know? So I always had to find that balance in order to keep myself focused and on target and on the right path. So, you know, anybody that's doing what I'm doing or looking to do what I'm doing, definitely I would say find that balance. And yeah, I'm not saying it's easy, but eventually you will find it.
How do you prepare yourself mentally as you approach a fight? Once you get that call, you know, does it instantly kick in?
Yeah. I mean, like, it just kicks in. The mindset that I have is like, you know I said about in the beginning about the winning and all that, but to be truthful, I don't really care about winning, losing. I don't really care about, you know, winning is an amazing feeling, don't get me wrong. But I don't care about the money. I just love the sport. I love being in there. Like I told you earlier, it felt like home. It's natural to me. I just love putting on a show for the fans. And my mindset is like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm gonna do my best every time I get in the ring. I always tell myself, if I go to the gym and I know I'm not gonna put 110% in, I'm not gonna go to the gym. You know, same thing as a fight. If I know I'm not gonna go 110% in that fight, I'm not gonna take that fight. You know, so mentally, sometimes I struggle with my own mental because I'm a head case at times, you know. but ultimately, I always come out on top of my own self and beat the person in the mirror, you know, and focus myself 100% and just do what I have to do to win the fight, you know. Whether that's, I always say fights are won in the gym. So in order for me to win the fight, I have to train myself 100%.
Tell us about your training routine,
Okay.
your diet.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in training camp. What is that like for you on a day-to-day basis preparing for a fight?
I mean, like Mondays, Wednesdays, I have like a kind of like a schedule. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays or Fridays are like kind of like running days. Saturdays, I switch it between distance or sprints. And 2 of the days in a week, or 1 of the days in a week, I either deviate from sprints or jogging, you know. But all my running is done in the morning. I go to the gym at night. I usually I'll get out of work at 4:30, go to the gym. I'm there like 5:30. I train for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't get home until about 9 o'clock.
Wow.
And then I gotta do it all over again the next day. But my diet, you know, that's one of the things I struggle with, man. I tell you, not for nothing, but I started using keto. I don't know if you ever heard of keto.
Heard of it, yes.
Keto, I did keto my last camp, and I think that's what I'm gonna do this camp because the weight shreds like that. So keto, if you guys haven't heard of it, is basically no carbs. It's about 5% carbs. You know, you eat a little bit of oats, that's it. The rest is all healthy fats, proteins, and lean meat. You know, so I eat a lot of vegetables during this time. Once a week, I try to throw in a steak just to get you know, get my energy back, I guess.
Absolutely.
It's like at the end of the week I do that.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, most of the time it's just salads, chicken, vegetables, fruits in between, and protein shakes, you know, in the mornings after my run.
All right.
So I always run on an empty stomach.
I do the same thing, and I think that's the best way to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you burn what you had last night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you run on an empty stomach, you're forcing your body to target that belly area.
Yeah. Burn the most fat.
Absolutely. April 12th.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
I feel good.
Yeah?
I'm excited. Anxious and excited.
Anxious and excited. So, I mean, what else is going on with Omar Bordoy, man? What else is going on in your life right now, Omar?
You know, daily routines, work, train. I do have another child on the way. So,
Huh?
Yeah, I have a little boy. Yeah. He's actually gonna be here next month, so I hope.
Really?
Yeah. So it's gonna be a good, you know, I dedicate this fight to him.
Wow.
You know, so I gotta go out there and perform.
Wow. What's the name gonna be?
Omar the Third.
Omar the Third?
Yeah, he's gotta keep the legacy. Each Omar got better, you know?
Yeah. So we were talking about during the break, how do you prepare yourself mentally for a fight, and balancing between work, family, and etc. So As you begin to prepare for April 12th, what can fans expect out of you when you step into the ring?
An all-out war. You know, I'm gonna be in shape. I'm always in shape when I fight. That's one thing my trainers are never worried about. They know I do my work. But like I said, this guy's a tough, rugged fighter. So he's gonna come forward. I don't mean to put him down, but he's kind of like right there for you. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't really have a good defense aspect to the sport. He's just kind of like right there. So I feel like it's gonna be a time for me to really show my offensive skills. You know, I've showed my defensive skills in the sport. I've shown my footwork and my evasiveness, but I think I'm gonna be able to show my offensive skills this fight a lot more so than even in the Pacat fight. Because Pacat, you know, he although he was coming forward a lot, he was also moving most of the time. You know, this guy just comes forward. So I'll be able to show my offensive skills a lot more.
Well, you move very, very well in the ring, and your craftsmanship is superior. It's excellent. And is there a fighter who you try to tailor your style to?
I don't really try to tailor my style. I kind of like take things from everybody, you know. I always, like, a lot of people was like, I'm going to be the next Mayweather, I'm going to be the next Cotto. I always believe that you should be the next you.
Okay.
You know, so I tell people all the time, like, I'm not trying to be this guy, I'm not trying to be that guy, I'm trying to be better than those guys. So, you know, one thing that Floyd always said was he took things from Whitaker, he took things from Pep, he took things from Zab when he was training with Zab. He took a lot of things from many different fighters.
Yep.
Muhammad Ali. If you look at Floyd's pull counter right hand, it's imitated exactly from Ali's. You know, so you can always see things in one fighter that they took from another. You know, I mean, I say you just add it to the arsenal. So you know what you can do. You know what you do every day. You train what your trainers are telling you to do. So my thing is, like, I just want to add to my arsenal all the time. So when I see something new, I kind of like, I'm going to try that. Whether it's in sparring training or even in a fight. My last 3 fights, I've tried different things. Like when I fought Pacat, I was trying to be the aggressor. I never was an aggressor in a fight. So I was like, let me try it in this fight. You know, let me try to be the aggressor and push him back and see where it's going to take me. My last fight, I was trying to be the pot shooter. You know, I kind of like work on these things in camp, of course. But when I get into that fight, it's like, okay, I'm going to try it. Regardless if it's a fight or not, I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, I'll revert to what I know best, you know. So I always say you got to come up with an A through Z plan.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you could meet somebody in there that's going to beat you all the way to the 26th letter, you know? So that's my aspect of it.
You know, you fought at some great venues. You fought at Mohegan Sun, the Paramount, the Palladium. You fought with Star Boxing. You've been at some great venues. What was that experience like?
Just fighting in Mohegan, my pro debut, kind of like, it was like, whoa, you know, like, because that's a pretty big stage.
You fought in the arena.
Yeah, I fought in the arena, so it was like, I liked it. I was like, yeah, I want to be here again. I want to keep going. I was like, I want to know what the HBO fights are like. You know, obviously it's not doing it anymore, but say like Showtime or even PBC, you know. So I'm just going to keep working on my craft and working on these fights, you know, whether or not, you know, if I get to that chance this year, next year, whatever it is, I know I'm going to get that chance eventually. You know, I'm just looking to pursue to be on the biggest and best shows out there.
Are you signed with anyone right now?
No, not promoter-wise. I'm a free agent. Yeah.
Do you have any promoter in mind that you would like to sign with eventually?
Not really. I mean, boxing right now, it's good that I'm doing it as a free agent because a lot of promotions, they'll put you on the shelf. Meaning like the bigger ones, like Top Rank, if they don't feel like you're going to be a superstar, Top Rank, Golden Boy, even TMT, like they kind of put you on the shelf and you sit there until they want to use you for one of their superstars, you know. So I feel like, because I don't have the amateur background a lot of fighters do. I had about, like I told you earlier, 40 amateur fights. They'll use me for something like that. So I refuse to be that. So, you know, I fought for Star Boxing. They always put on good shows. Rivera, shout out to AJ Rivera and his father Jose. You know, they allowed me to show my skills the most. I fought on, I think, like 3 or 4 of their shows, you know, and I only have 7 fights, so it's about half my fights, you know. So, like I said, they've allowed me to keep building, and Star Boxing gave me my first chance and my last chance that I just had. So, you know, I appreciate everybody that's putting me in the shows. I try to sell as many tickets as I can, push the ticket sales so it looks good on their part and they don't lose any money with me. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. Like AJ always told me that your ticket sales are your credit score in boxing. You know what I mean? So
I like that.
yeah. So if you have a good rep with the local promoters, that'll get the eyes open to the bigger promoters. You know, but I love fighting for the Riveras. They always treat me well. Star Boxing treated me well.
Actually, I think one of the Riveras gave you a shout out on here on Facebook.
Yeah.
He left a comment giving you a shout out saying something. Let's see. I mean, actually, there's a lot of people on here leaving comments. Let's see who we got here. We got Liliana Feliz. You know who that is?
Yeah, that's Fernelli's mother.
Oh, okay. She's like, yes. She's like, yes, Omar. Yes, Omar. We got Glarbell Perez. Bordoy, you go.
Yeah, that's
from Florida.
That's family from Florida.
That's your fam?
Yep.
And who else we got on here? I mean, all you guys that are watching right now on Facebook, man, leave us some comments. You know, we want to make this interactive. We want to be able to communicate with you here.
Any questions you guys have, ask now.
Oh, okay. Jose Rivera right here said, future champ. Let's go.
Yeah, Jose's good people, man. Like I said, they treated me so well when I fight for them.
But that's great, man. I mean, you have a lot of fans out there. You got another one on here. Let's see. Jair Ramos just responded. My guy, Jair, we see you on the check-in.
Yeah, that's my boy, Jair. I'm rooting for you in that fight you got this weekend, bro.
You ever spar against Jair Ramos?
Yeah, he is. He got a lot of power.
Yeah?
Yeah, me and Jair did I think before I went pro, actually. And he had just fought on AJ's show probably like 6 months prior in 2015. But Jair's a tough fighter, real tough fighter. He's gonna go far if he keeps up with it. I always tell him, you know, we keep in touch.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, get back to it, you know.
We got a Finelli Feliz Jr. also on the check-in. He said, my brother.
Yeah.
With a fist up in the air.
Definitely, like I told you earlier, you know, we grew up together. And we're gonna do this together.
Yep.
So
just to let everyone know that's watching, it was announced yesterday that Omar Bordoy returns back into the ring.
April 12th.
April 12th. And I mean, what can we expect April 12th? Fireworks? Explosion?
Fireworks, explosion. Yeah, you know my style. I'm an explosive fighter, you know. I try to put on a show for the fans and you know, stay pretty at the end. So I don't like to get hit.
That's good. Let's see who else is on the check-in, man. Let's see who else we got going on here. There's a lot of people watching. A lot of people leaving you comments, man, telling you God bless you and just wishing you the best on April 12th.
Thank you, everybody.
You know, what do you have to say to your fans?
Keep following me. You know, I'm amazed at this fan base I have. You know, when I fight in Worcester, I'm from Danbury, Connecticut, and we sell like 90+ tickets there. When I fight in anywhere close, Mohegan, wherever it is, you know, we sell a good amount of tickets, and you know, I'm thankful for the fan base I have, and if you guys can continue supporting me, it means a lot. And please, you know, always support me.
Also, we got Simon Lavie.
Yeah, La Vida Loca La Vie. He's my cut man. He fixed my face.
He's saying on here, Omar is late. What do you mean by that? Meaning you were late at the show?
Probably.
No, but you was on time, so we got to correct him.
Yeah, Simon, we were on time. You're late.
All right, Omar. So you know, April 12th, 8-0. Are you when you go into a fight, do you always anticipate going for a knockout, or you're the type of fighter that likes to showcase his skills?
Nah, I never look for a knockout. Like you said, I kind of like to showcase my skills. I wanna make you feel like I think knockouts are amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's a good feeling to knock somebody out. You know, that sounds very like mean, but when, you know, obviously it's all love at the end of the fight. You know, I always show my respect and, you know, hope everybody that, you know, if you ever get hurt, you know, I hope you recover well. But I'm more or less like I like to showcase my skills and just show you I can beat you without knocking you out. You know, punish you kind of. You know, so frustrate you the most. You know, and that's what's fun to me.
Will Omar Bordoy be a world champion one day?
If I keep going the way I am, definitely. You know, I can't tell the future. I don't know what can happen in life, but I know for a fact, you know, the way I work and the way I train, I know there's no doubts in my mind at all. You know, I've sparred world champions, and they told me I have a lot of potential and I can go far. So just hearing that from other world champions means I know I have the potential to be there.
And who are some of those sparring partners that you've dealt with?
I sparred Victor Keto before. I I've sparred, you know, a few world champions from like Puerto Rico that, you know, they're not big names. I've done where I've sparred with like from Connecticut area, like the up and comers, Lefty, Jacob Marrero.
Good fighter.
Yeah,
good fighter, man.
Definitely. Jacob Marrero, Mikey Williams, you know, all these guys. We've done rounds together, and you know, everybody tells me I'm great work. You know, that they always keep calling me. Come up. You know, it's hard because you know the sparring with my job, and sometimes the sparring don't fit in the schedule. Like going up to people, so it's a little hard for me, right? Like some at times, depending where you're at. But you know, it's an amazing feeling to have these other fighters, other great fighters, telling me, you know, you're doing an amazing job. Keep going.
You know, since we're on the subject of sparring, we were talking about this before the show started. How important is it to make yourself available for someone else that you know is prepared for a fight, and in turn, that person to be available for you? I mean, helping each other prepare for a fight.
Like I was telling you earlier, like if you go to like Brooklyn, and you see like those fighters in Brooklyn, they're all one unit, no matter what gym they're in, you know. So there's also of course there's gonna be a little animosity sometimes with certain fighters, but if you go to Brooklyn, say I trained at Atlas Cops and Kids, and I wanted to go for a day at like Saddam Ali's gym, it's cool. Like nobody says anything, you know. Sparring wise, everybody spars with each other. They end up fighting each other in the future, whatever it is, and it's all love in the end. I feel like if Connecticut does that, it's gonna be good for us. That's why whenever I go to a gym or whenever the people come down to here, I try to build a good bridge and relationship with that person, because you never know when you're gonna need them again.
Yes.
You know, but you know, like I show the same energy that you show me. So if I feel like you're in there to knock me out, or you're just like, oh, this guy ain't nothing, then I ain't gonna call you. I'm not gonna be a good, you know, I'm not gonna have a good relationship. Of course, I'm gonna be like, all right, bro, thank you for the sparring. But at the end of the day, if I feel that energy wasn't the same, like the appreciation, whether I went to you or you came to me, and we can't grow from there, then there's no reason to go on forward. You can't get my work, you know. But everybody, I rarely have an issue. Rarely have an issue. I had one like last year, and you know, that's water under the bridge already. So. I never had an issue after that. So you know, every other fighter showed me love, whether or not I go help them for their fights, or they come to me. You know, so it's a great feeling for me to build these relationships with the younger fighters. You know, I'm kind of old. I'm kind of an old head now. You know,
24, man.
Yeah, yo, in boxing, that's getting old.
So you live in Waterbury, Connecticut, and but you did come up in Danbury, right?
Yeah, I grew up with me.
I mean, coming up as a kid, I mean, how was life for you? Was it tough? Did you have some bad experiences? I mean,
yeah, most definitely. You know,
parents.
Yeah. I mean, they were separated when I was younger. Like, I was probably like a couple months old when they separated. But I have wonderful parents. My mom, you know, she was hard on me. She had a rough upbringing, and you know, she tried her best to do whatever she could for us. You know, at times, you know, my mom's more of an old school. She used to, you know, give us spankings. Not that, you know, the kids nowadays don't get no spankings. That's probably why this generation's all crazy. But you know, they tried their best. You know, and I can't talk bad. I can't say anything bad. But yeah, my upbringing it wasn't easy at all. You know, I was wearing hand-me-downs all the time, things like that. You know, so I used to get made fun of in school a lot. But being short, and you know, I'm wearing the best clothes all the time, but I kind of okay, you want to make fun of me, you know, let's go outside, kind of thing. It was always like that. That's where I kind of got the background of fighting. You know?
Okay.
I went through many fights. I got jumped a few times too. It wasn't fun.
That's good, man. So, you know, let's go back to April 12th. Big fight, big opportunity to capture that 8th consecutive victory. Training camp, when does that start?
Started last week.
Oh, you already started?
Yeah, we started last week. So, I mean, we started training hard last week, and yesterday was a tough day. So that's just, you know, we're kicking up everything. Strength and conditioning is getting picked up. Sparring's gonna start picking up. This week is kind of like slow for the sparring because we're just getting back into the swing of things. I haven't sparred since November 30th when I had my cut. I just got cleared, you know, like 2 weeks ago to even do that.
Yep.
So we're gonna, like I said, everything's gonna start picking up in the next couple weeks. I run it, you know, I always keep in shape in a decent amount. I always keep my running up. My training wise, I try to as much as to be in the gym. But you know, it's that fight. Like that announcement, like, oh, you have a fight, Omar. That's what gets me in that drive. Like, okay, I gotta get up. I gotta go to the gym. You know.
Gotta make it happen.
I gotta make it happen. You know. So training started last week because I heard about the fight last week. You know, so I knew I was gonna have an April date, which is when we weren't sure when or where. But now, you know, everything kind of just fell in our laps, and it all went smooth. You know, the guy agreed to the fight right away, and contracts were sent the next day. So I was like really happy. And like I said, the camp, we jumped right into it.
You know, I want to talk about your relationship with AJ Galante. AJ is an amazing dude.
Yeah.
Great person. Very, very smart and wise when it comes to business in the sport of boxing. How's your relationship with AJ?
We have a great relationship. He's like my big brother, you know. He's done so much for me. He's done so much for the gym. He's done so much for Danbury in general, and even now he's trying to do more for CT boxing in general. You know, he's most of the time he's the one building his relationship with sparring. You know, he's, yo, go over here, you know, do this, do that. He's the one that gives me my path. You know, I tell you, he's like an advisor, but at the same time, like his advice is never wrong. So I always say, okay, let's do that, because it's like, as soon as he says, it's like, all right, it sounds like the right thing. I'm just gonna do it. You know, I'm not saying that I just follow everything he says, but we have a great relationship where we can understand each other to that point where we know, what's coming next is gonna be the right thing to do. You know, so he even when he presented me this fight, the 3-0 guy, a lot of people were like, why are you doing that fight? AJ never steered me wrong. So I was like, we're gonna take it, and I'm gonna beat him, you know, and then that's all. So same thing with this fight. You know, people always talk about like a losing record. These guys, like the guys with losing records like this, they're harder than the undefeated prospects. I believe, you know. Yeah. Because these guys don't have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
They're just in there, and you know, they're trying to knock you out, so they're patting their record a little bit more. You know.
I mean, individuals like that come to fight, but they also come to take
away from you.
Yeah, take your if they can take it.
Exactly. You know, so I always say that these guys are the more dangerous ones. You know, like it's harder to fight these guys. You know, because they're reckless. You never know what they're gonna come with. We're so used to seeing the technical style and like the polished style in boxing that when you fight somebody like so, just like I don't care, it's hard. Yep. For me at least.
Yeah. So April 12th, where can fans get tickets to attend your fight?
Oh, we're gonna have them at the gym, Chance Boxing Club. You always get in contact with me, AJ, or I believe the Granite Chins is the promoter. Chris Trahetti. He's the one that's promoting the show, so you can also get in contact with him. Shout out to Chris Trahetti and Granite Chins for putting me on the show. I actually fought for them once last year, the same month, April last year. So, you know, I'm glad to be on the show again with them, and I appreciate them. So like I said, you can get in contact with me through my Facebook, Omar Bordoy Jr., or my Instagram, Omar Bordoy _Jr., and or Champs of Danbury on Instagram, or even AJ Galante on Facebook. That's how you can get tickets.
Excellent, man. So we're about to wrap it up, but before we go, I have what I call a couple of shotgun questions for you. Okay. I do this with everybody that comes on the show. All right. Your favorite song?
Favorite song? I'll say Slideshow from T.I. I love that song.
Slideshow?
Slideshow from T.I.
It's very old. How does it go? I never heard it, man.
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't want to sing in front of it. But it was a great song. Paper Trail was the album.
Paper Trail?
Yeah.
You said T.I.?
Yeah. I mean, that's the first one I could think of. I have, like, there's so many, you know.
What's your the song you walk out to when you go to the ring?
Most of the time, 100% from Big Pun.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the time.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Avengers Infinity War.
Avengers Infinity War?
Yeah, it just came out last year.
Okay.
That was probably one of the best movies I ever saw in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to watch it, Zach.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
You gotta catch up on the Marvel, man. I'm a big nerd when it comes
I like
to that.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's the he the man too.
Favorite food?
I know nobody's gonna like this, but pizza. I love pizza, man. Pizza is like my weakness.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be eating pizza for the next couple of weeks,
I got 8 weeks no pizza. As soon as that fight's over, I'm going to eat some pizza.
Straight to the pizza
straight
palace?
to the pizza. As soon as I beat this guy.
Besides boxing, what's your favorite sport?
I don't have Just boxing. That's the only sport I pay attention to is boxing. The next one I would probably say is, I catch a little bit from people is football.
Football?
Like I said, I used to play football, so, but boxing is my one true love.
What's your favorite car?
I like the Japanese brands. I have an Acura. I always like the Japanese brands, But if I ever make some money, I'm going with a Ferrari.
Go with the Ferrari. All right. Just make sure that when you do make that money, you don't forget your boy.
Nah, never that. What I tell you before, man. I say if you make it, you don't forget about me. I was one of the first people on here.
What's the favorite thing you like to read?
I like Greek mythology. Yeah, Greek mythology is pretty cool to me. Even when I was a kid, I was fascinated with it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I've always loved it.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah, it's a bunch of gods, they shoot humans and shit, but I've always loved it.
And what's the favorite thing you like to do besides box?
Just spend time with my family. A lot of the time I don't get time to spend with my daughter and stuff, but when I do it, those are I always say, it's not, I believe it's either Dave, one of my trainers, or somebody told me, it's not the quantity of time, it's the quality of time you spend. So when I'm with them, I try to, give them the best times I can.
Last question. Who's your favorite boxer?
Of all time?
Yes.
That's hard.
Past and present. Past and present. Favorite boxer?
I would have to, favorite, I'm not going to say that, I don't believe this is the best fighter in the whole time, of course, but because he was the first guy I ever watched, probably Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
I loved him. But I'm not saying he's the best, don't get me wrong, but, next would have to be like a Floyd, obviously. I don't love him now because he's kind of a clown, but a troll right now, but what he did, he changed the sport of, it's very rare a fighter changes the sport of boxing. He changed it.
Truth be told, there's no one in the sport who has done it like him.
Yeah, he changed the entire sport, from the way people do mitts to the way people think.
And to the way they make money.
Yeah, exactly. And, he just changed it completely.
Yep.
So I had to go with one of those two.
Yeah.
Favorite, I would have to lean towards Floyd because of the mindset, in the later years.
Yeah.
Not now. He's just, like I said, he's just trolling people now, Especially Oscar De La Hoya, he kills him.
All right, Omar. Well, listen, man. It's been an honor and a privilege to be able to have you here in the studio tonight for an exclusive interview. Looking forward to seeing you step into the ring April 12th in the Hampton. Mm-hmm. Is that where it is, the Hampton?
Pretty sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I read something like that, though. Yeah. But looking forward to see you step back into the ring April 12th. And you guys that are watching right now via Facebook Live, go on to granitechin.com. I believe you'll be able to find tickets for Omar's next fight on that website, or you can visit Chance Boxing Club in Danbury, Connecticut, located at
128 East Liberty Street, Danbury, Connecticut.
128 East Liberty Street in Danbury, Connecticut, or you can hit up AJ Calante or Omar the Beast Bordoy on Instagram or Facebook. Direct message Omar, and he'll make arrangements so that you'll be able to get those tickets that you need for his next fight.
If I don't answer right away, it's just I'm a busy man, but I'll get back to you.
Again, Omar, it's an honor and a privilege, man.
Jason.
Thank you for coming down tonight. And I look forward to seeing you step back into the ring April 12th.
Thank you.
All right, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys that are watching right now.
Shout out to War Tape, by the way. They help out a lot.
Oh, War Tape, that's right.
War
Tape is like the hottest tape out in the industry right now, man.
We use them for every fight, and they provided with some complimentary tape. So shout out to War Tape.
Also, I just want to encourage you guys to tune in next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. for another exclusive interview. It's going to be a little different next week because next week I'm going to have a bodybuilder here.
Oh, really?
Named Joel Rodriguez, one of the strongest dudes located in the city of Bridgeport. The dude's a beast, man.
Wow.
He's like you.
Yeah?
He's like you, but he's jacked.
He's jacked.
But he's going to be here next Tuesday night in the studio for an exclusive interview. So I'm going to encourage you guys to make sure you tune in for that interview. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason.
And thank you guys for watching. God bless.